a.m. and Nick woke up when I went to the bathroom at 4:30. So here we are again. Who needs sleep anyway? And today I'm actually really excited because I'm gonna meet one of my best friends for the first time. How weird does that sound? I've never met her. Her name is Linnea. She's from Sweden, but she travels all around Europe working remotely. And we met online during the pandemic, actually. And so we talk almost every single day. And we've video chatted, so I know she's not a creepy old man. She's herself. Otherwise, it would have been bad that I told her what hotel we're in. But she booked a hotel room here, too. That we're going to hang out for 2 whole days. Yay! Well, since it's 5 a.m. now, and we're just sitting here waiting for better days, as we say in Sweden, should we talk about some observations?
Yes.
One negative thing I would say that I've observed, and that we observed actually in Denmark when we went there, 2019, that Nick pointed out to me that I've never realized about Scandinavia, is that Scandinavians stare a lot.
Yeah.
Like in a rude way. And we don't realize it ourselves. I think I used to do that. I really think I used to do that. And now that I look back on it, it's not because I was just like judging people. I mean, I'm sure sometimes it comes from a place of judgment. Like if I looked at someone and I thought like they were interesting or they looked good or something, then I didn't want them to know necessarily that I thought that about them. Because, you know, we're not super socially approachable always in Sweden. It depends. And so I was so shy that I didn't want anyone to know. So like I would stare at someone and not smile and not realize that that probably comes across. I'm sure a lot of people just look at you thinking that you look badass or very different, unusual, whatever. But then they stare at Nick and he gets so mad. He's like, oh my God, what's wrong with them? Like, why do they care so much about who I am and what I do? What is this? But I think a lot of people just stare because they're Scandinavian. Let's show them something very Scandinavian. Do you guys notice what's up with these covers? Ooh, this is mine, and this is his. That's a very Scandinavian thing for people to have their own cover.
When I saw that, I thought the bed was going to be split in half too.
Sometimes they are,
I know,
which I don't like.
I remember that.
You know what? My parents' bed, I don't know if they have the same bed anymore, but they used to have that. I remember as kids when we climbed into their beds, you know, because we had like a nightmare when we wanted to sleep, then we would literally wake up in the middle of the crack because the 2 mattresses slid apart, and I would wake up on the wooden boards.
Ouch.
One negative thing that I realize every time I go to Stockholm, no other city in the world have I ever experienced people rushing their asses off on the escalator. Like to the point that it's like, how much of in a hurry are you really? Like, I think that like they're not in a hurry necessarily, not everyone. They're just impatient. You have to stay on the right side because on the left side, people are going to be running past you. And if you're not in like out of their way, they get pissed off at you. And I find it to be so rude. It's one thing if you're on the like one of those really long escalators, but if you're on one of the short ones, just stand still. Like, what's the rush? Like, you're gonna gain like 5 seconds by running. And so like when we arrived here with 3 things, like what's it called, like 3 luggages, Nick had to drag 2 of them. And so standing on the escalator with those, it's like just keeping
your... almost knocking me over.
Yeah, it's hard to keep you balanced because you can't hold on to the railing. You just hold on to these 2 big suitcases. And it took up most of that line that he was standing on in the escalator. And this lady, like, shoved her away past him on this, like, tiny little escalator. It's like, dude, the trains, like, in the subway, they run, like, every few minutes. Like, if you miss the one that's coming, it's not the end of the world. It's just an observation about Stockholmers, as we call them, that I don't like. I love the city. I love it in so many ways. It's really fun, but it kind of feels like a mini New York. And speaking Swedish has been kind of hard for me since I came back. Obviously it's a bit weird because Nick is American, so I felt like I had to like speak in English in front of him to translate what we're talking about, you know, to people at the airport or at the subway station. Sometimes I even faked being an American, like saying like, oh yeah, we're from California.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah.
Like, because I didn't want to mention that I'm from Sweden, because then I would feel forced to speak Swedish. And I thought, why am I so awkward? Because even the what's it called, the flight attendants, I don't know why I've lost that word, the whole crew from San Francisco to Denmark were Swedish. They're all Swedish, so I could have spoken Swedish. But I realized, okay, so this is the thing, right? In California, I realized we speak in the back of our throat, like in our mouths. We speak in the back of our mouths. This is gonna sound weird, but that's why, like, California girls end up talking like this sometimes, you know, like drag it out. Like Americans kind of do that sometimes. That's where you get the whole California girl cliche way of speaking. But in Sweden, we speak in the front of our mouths. I realized it's like, oh, jag ska göra det här, jag ska like that. It sounds stupid, but it's like that. And I realized that, you know, with my muscle memory, I haven't been home since 2019. It's been over 3 years now. And so having to do it spontaneously, like, it's fine with my family and friends. They're used to it. They're used to me kind of stumbling sometimes and having to say words in English. But if I'm talking to someone who's in like a service job, like a flight attendant or at the subway or at a restaurant, then I find it awkward, like I'm stumbling on my words and they're not going to understand why. And then I'm like, they're going to think that I don't know how to speak proper Swedish. Like, I don't know, then I get embarrassed. Say hi to Linnea.
Hey.
We already had breakfast with her. Welcome to LaRussa land. The Royal Castle. They're pretty and Christmassy. Like, representationsvåningen is where he like represents Sweden and greets guests, and then also where all the old bedrooms are. Like I think this is where you said you hadn't been.
No.
Like the super old like rooms from back in the day. Like I think it's from the 1700s. And we took a tour here, but that took so long. Like, we'll just go through.
It feels more like a castle on the inside.
I know, right, than the outside.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they became kings when they were very, very little.
Dude,
Yeah.
what are we doing with the Bible? Jesus.
Someone usually took over the responsibilities until they got a little older. Yeah, sometimes like teenagers ran the country, basically. Back in those days.
That's not right.
Oscar II's writing room.
Go ahead, just walk through.
This is where they did all the work.
Yeah.
Signed all the laws.
He had a whole room just for writing. That's when you know you have too many rooms. these gigantic Advent lights here. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, we're getting to the old bedroom soon, I think. These are the throne. Wow, look at
That
this.
looks more like a throne.
Yeah, this is quite a throne.
Right? It's better than the other chair.
LaRussa Rika's audience room. Blue. Oh, förmak. This was the same lady. Förmak. Would you call that like what, living room? Look at that wallpaper or whatever it is. How pretty is that? I wonder if these are pictures of her children. It looks like it. It's quite a big room. What is
It takes to take time with you, and because they take it away.
oh, that's kind of a sad picture.
Oh, I like that, and of course,
It's like a hunt.
I have to get stuff.
Okay.
So where you are from, I've lived, for example, in Stockholm.
A long time ago.
Yeah. But the king, well, I thought that they were for long.
I know.
In Paris.
It's like hunting images. Oh yeah, this is the king's parents. The other one was his grandfather, and he's the one who took over the throne because his father died, and the king was too young to take over the throne. Do you know who these are, babe? Who are those people? You don't know? King and queen, but younger.
A lot more modern.
Yeah, the phone, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's a bedroom. This is like one of the guest floor. But I'm assuming this is like a guest floor from back in the day, and not right now.
Yeah.
This is where the bedrooms are. Yeah, look at that. Look how pretty. Those walls. Oh my goodness. This is the bedrooms that I thought. I was like, I know we saw bedrooms last time. Isn't that pretty? All the fireplaces are so black from fires, you know, back in the day. Look at that. Imagine that being on.